Hello, Soul Biz Sisters, and welcome to the Soul Biz Sisters community, fostering the soul of your business. I'm Nancy.
And I'm Penny. And today we're here with a magnificent Soul Biz sister and brave heart woman, Renee Blanton. And Renee is a nurse practitioner, and she has come to us from Alaska, so you know she's an incredibly strong woman.
Yes.
2 years ago, she came here to Durango, and a year and a half ago opened a practice called Sonus Integrative Medicine. So, and I know Renee has her soul in her business, and so we are so excited to talk to you today, Renee.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Welcome, Renee. And Renee, your soul is in your business, and can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. You know, my passion since I was 5 years old, believe it or not, is to heal and help the world be a better place through healing.
Nice.
And the traditional medical model doesn't allow it. And I had the privilege in Alaska working with some great naturopaths and other integrative practitioners. And when I came to Durango, which is where my heart wanted to be, it wasn't here. So I kind of made my prayers and made the decision to start Sonus.
So you said it wasn't here, so when you came here, you thought you would find the medical model serving in a different way.
Right,
And when they weren't, you opened your own.
Right, you know, in Durango you have naturopaths and you
Yes.
have MDs and DOs
Yes.
for very traditional Western, but there's no one who can bridge the chasm between both. You know, so to have the tools and the ability to offer more or communicate on a level that understands all of those components is really needed for a lot of people.
Hey, I'm going to ask you another question. You just said that your heart wanted to be in Durango. So that's really interesting because I think that's a big risk sometimes to leave one place and go somewhere else. How did you know your heart wanted to be here?
Well, you know, it's one of those physician heal thyself moments where I knew that my health depended on being in a climate that had the mountains, the rivers, a little bit warmer weather than the summers in Alaska had to offer. And, you know, and I came and I kept looking for someone to provide that opportunity for me. And it wasn't here, but I knew I needed to be here. So it was one of those moments where I said, I need to create this opportunity.
And in creating it, you actually, did you purchase this building or you're renting? You have a contract?
We have a four-year lease here.
Yeah, so what was that like for you when you
Scary.
made that?
It's, you know, it's been has a person who's trained in the medical field, not business, to go into business is a very frightening thing, and it definitely takes a lot of courage to overcome that and do that. But I have had great people I've met along the way, great advice that has come at the right moments. I still feel like I'm filling. I mean, you know, Virginia and I both sweat sometimes when the bills are due because we're still learning. We're still growing.
And Virginia is your assistant, is that
Exactly,
right? So
exactly.
you're growing together
Oh,
with this.
absolutely, absolutely. So it's been a tremendous learning experience to not only be able to offer the medical side of things,
Yes.
but to do so in a way that sustains me.
That's great. You know, we know you because you took part in a wonderful video project that we did when we made a health video for our business. And you just came across in that film with such poise and such self-confidence that's what we really, you know, really stands out when somebody meets you is your you know, sureness and your self-confidence. Is that something that you've always had or something you feel like you've had to develop?
That's a good question. You know, I would say the feedback I've received through the years, I mean, I was a Navy officer, so I think that puts a lot of courage and confidence in you, like it or not. So I definitely feel I learned a lot in the military. But when you know a lot about something and it's your passion, I think you can be as scared and timid and shy, but when you have that fire within you, it comes through as confidence.
Okay, so that brought up another question. You said you were in the military, which I think is amazing. We talked to
amazing.
Ann Rapp earlier this week, and you know, women that are in that male world, how have you kept your soul and your heart coming through that model?
Oh, that's a good question, because it is hard, and sometimes you think, you feel you are sacrificing the feminine side of things to get the job done. I think as women we have a lot to learn from men, and I would say, but with that said, men have a lot more to learn from us. And I think today's military is a little bit different than it was 20 years ago, and definitely 50 years ago.
And were you in 20, how long ago was it?
I was active duty from 1989 to 95, and then I did another 6 years reserves. Yeah.
You have served. Do you know what service is?
Sure. So I would say that, we have the ability to see a perspective that's a little bit different. We're not just about getting the job done, we're about getting the job done right. And, I actually just saw the Hubble discovery, the Hubble where the space astronauts went up at the IMAX theater. Their docking was a girl. The mechanics were the
Really?
men. The person whose job was to put that little arm out there in space in zero gravity and lock in on the shuttle, or the Hubble, satellite, was a woman.
Woman, of course.
They sent a woman in who could do the job right
Exciting.
when she only had one chance to get it right.
I love that.
And I think that's what we have to offer. We pay so much attention to detail, and our hearts are right there. We bring a passion, which, sometimes, again, we have to learn to disconnect a little bit from time to time. But overall, it's a much better strength than it is a weakness.
And you mean disconnect from the real feminine, nurturing.
The outcome.
Oh, tell me more about
The
that.
outcome. That's one of the things, even Sufi masters talk about, follow your heart's passion. And don't be attached to the outcome. And I would say, as a business person and a healthcare practitioner, that's really hard to do. Because we really want the best of our patients. We want health. And of course, as a woman, I want success.
Yes.
So it's really hard to do that and not be attached to the outcome. And I think that's the one disadvantage to feminine. I think men do that a little better. But knowing that, it's our work.
Well, thank you so much, because that's what we're committed to, really exploring the ways that we can be really highly successful and efficient in business with our heart and soul. So that was great.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure.
And we could keep going all day with this conversation, but our time is up. And so we'd like to invite you to come into the Soul Biz Sisters community and find Dr. Renee's information in the Resource Center. And we'll see you on the inside.
And at the top.